How's it going, everyone? Today we've got a
2023 Citroën C3.
So yeah, let's get into it. What are the specs of the Citroën?
It is a 1.2 litre 3-cylinder with a 5-speed manual front-wheel drive. It has 80 horsepower and it has a top speed of 105 miles an hour with 0 to 60 time of around 12.4 seconds.
12.4 seconds, that's actually not too bad.
It's not too bad. It's not that quick either, but you know, it's a little hatchback and that's all you need.
So how is the Citroën like to drive?
You know, it's actually not too bad at all. You've got your cruise control, you've got your speed limits in, which is handy. You have quite a nice steering wheel and gauge cluster. You can see all the bits of information you need. It's really not a bad place to be.
So this Citroën has very interesting styling. I'm not too sure personally on what I think on it. What do you think on it?
I think I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not too sure either. It's definitely interesting. You have, I don't know what you would call them. It's like little plastic covers or something on the side of the doors.
Yeah.
And on the roof you have a bit of a design change. It looks interesting, but I'm not sure if it's going to age incredibly well. Mm-hmm. It's personally not my taste, but you know, some people like it. And at the end of the day, caters to that kind of market. People like the more interesting looking cars, and there's definitely steps well aside from the other kind of cars in a similar category, like Mazda 2, which we filmed not too long ago. Yep. There's a link in the description if you want to watch that video as a comparison, but I'm not too sure how I feel about it.
For comfort-wise, suspension's nice. Seats, nice, and your average cloth seats. Mm-hmm. They went for like a yellow stitching sort of thing, which...
When nothing else is yellow.
Yeah.
What? No branding, no nothing on the car.
So...
Interesting.
I mean, that's the French for you. Back seats, I mean, tons of room, definitely behind Sean. I mean, there is actually a good amount of room back there, and I do like that you have big water bottle, like, door pockets. You can fit loads of stuff in there. Matt Watson would be happy, to be fair. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it's like we say, it's a really quirky and interesting designed car. It's nothing that you see in a lot of other cars, and it's pretty much only the French would do it. And as my friend would say, the French copy no one, and no one copies the French. So...
That's so true. They've definitely taken the whole, like, what a normal good car is and just thrown it completely out and be like, we will make our own.
That'll do, like...
That'll do.
What do you think of the interior of it?
The interior is nice. It's one of those cars where it's obviously a cheaper budget hatchback. Mm-hmm. So you do lose some features like Bluetooth, stuff like that there for your music, and you can't go and watch, use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto without a cable connecting your phone to it. But you can look at a gallery in it. So I don't know what the French designers were thinking. Photos
are more important than music?
Must be. I'm not too sure why. It's just an interesting quirk of the car.
Yeah. Very strange, but like you say, quirk. So interior-wise, like we've said, it is quite interesting. Like, you've got leather door handles to like shut it, and you've got some plush. I'm not too sure exactly what fabric that is, but it's nice and plush. Bits of chrome sort of thing. I mean, there's a lot of cheap plastics, but they're doing that to obviously save money, which I get. They've gone for a very interesting style of styling.
It is. They've carried on with the exterior styling with the kind of like squarish, rectangular, on the doors. Yeah. Into the air vents inside, and I'm not too sure how I like the infotainment display. It's interesting to say the least.
I know, like, I would have...
Big bezels.
Yeah, and I would have preferred they had the air conditioning, at least just as knobs and buttons, because they have the space. There's like a weird shelf underneath it that'll never get used, but they just decided to put it all in the display, which makes it harder to find and, well, not very nice, to be honest.
Oh, I agree.
So being such a small engine, what is it like on feel?
Well, you'll average between 40 to 60 miles per gallon. Obviously, it depends if you're doing a lot of city driving or if you're doing a lot of motorway driving, but you can expect to be somewhere around the middle, around 50 odd miles per gallon on average. That's what I've got so far in this car here. That's about 45 minutes of driving. So yeah, it's doing pretty well. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of the video.
So how does that wee 1.2 3-cylinder sound?
Sounds not too bad. We'll see in a second when we go through the little tunnel here. We'll see how she sounds, but
Honestly, since economic cars have changed to 3 cylinders, they've actually gotten better in my opinion.
Oh, the noise, yeah, definitely. It's just better balancing, I guess.
Exactly. Recently, we've been having quite a few hatchbacks on the channel, and this would be in the same category as a hatchback.
Yep.
What is this like to compare to the previous hatchbacks?
I think they're all very similar. Similar kind of size, similar kind of things. This definitely is pretty good in many ways, and it'll get by perfectly for the average person. I think the Mazda did things better, and the things it did better was having Bluetooth. The Kia, I think the Kia was just a little more well built and a little more, it was nicer to drive. This obviously has its styling, which some people really, really like. Some people may not like it as much, but I think they're all very much of the much, and depending on what you're looking for, you know, you wouldn't have a problem having this or the Mazda or the Kia. But if you're interested in learning more on those, there is links in the description for all those videos there.
And how's the driving position?
I have it in the shortest possible position right now, and even then it's not uncomfortable.
So what are the quirks and features of the Citroën?
Well, besides the interesting idea of having a photo gallery, there is quite a few parts that are shared between Dacia and Renault, and you can see that quite clearly with the, well, there's a switch on the steering column, and on the Dacia and the Renaults, they're on the right hand side, and that's where you adjust your volume and change your source and stuff like that there. On the left hand side of this car is the exact same switch, but now it does your cruise control, and they've moved the volume and those kind of features to the steering wheel itself, which, to be honest, is a big, my opinion, it's a much better improvement over like the Dacia we filmed as well, and it makes a lot more sense. You're generally not going to be using it all the time, you'll be using your music all the time, so really, really great to have that there. One other quirk is in the rear. When you open your boot, there is quite the large lip to be able to put your stuff in, which in a hatchback you'd kind of think you're not to have it, but I'm not too sure. The other thing is obviously the styling. You have these interesting doors and roof, and
Yeah, like bumps sort of thing on the doors. Yeah.
And it's just, I'm not too sure exactly how I feel about it. And the steering wheel isn't circular either. It's got a bit of like an ovular flat kind of design to it, which is not too bad, but yeah, that's mostly about it. There's nothing too crazy, but probably my least favorite quirk is the fact that you cannot use the air conditioning without using the touchscreen. So if you're in navigation or music, you have to physically go hit the navigation button, or sorry, not the navigation, the climate control button, and then use the touchscreen to adjust. Really not a good feature to have. Super inconvenient, and you know,
Proper knobs and buttons for that sort of thing is
much better, and probably cheaper.
How is it like for positioning on the road? Since we're going down a reasonably tight road, what's it like?
And it's, like I said, it's a small car, so you can squeeze down narrow roads and you don't have to be too concerned at all. So yeah, great little car, you know, perfect for cities and towns and narrow roads, and specifically good for countries as well, country roads. One of the other quirks about this car is the inside door handles. They're actually not molded in, they're a bit of material that's kind of bolted in. Definitely an interesting quirk. It's not something I've seen besides maybe in a Ferrari or something crazy exotic like that there. And the cup holders are also quite small. There's not really much space for a larger coffee and stuff like that. I had one earlier and it didn't fit, which was I was quite surprised by that.
What does Citroën think? We just drink Red Bulls or something?
Must do. See, for such a small car, it's actually rather big.
It is.
I mean, small on the inside and it's rather big outside. I mean, you've got quite a large bonnet for a small 3-cylinder.
I think it's because it's a very blocky sort of car.
It is quite a blocky design. To be fair, there is a reversing camera as well, which is quite handy. But I feel like it's put when you're reversing, it feels like the camera's not centered. It feels like the camera's off to the side.
Yeah.
Which is a little interesting when you're reversing. But hey, it has it, and that's a great feature to have.
How's the feel of all the controls, like steering, gearbox, clutch, that sort of thing?
Yeah, all feels good. Nothing crazy good, but also it's not bad in any way. I mean, it's average. I call it average, like your normal car.
Okay, very good. Now it's time to rate the car. So, for Future Classic, we've given it a 2. For Daily, we've given it a 6. For Wallet Hurt, we've given it another 6. And for Fun, we've given it a 1. So the total is 15 out of 40, which is 37.5%. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow our vlog and podcast channel, link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Another interesting quirk is the inside door handles. So I've started to do a Citroën. I've completely changed how I look for no obvious reason.
You are now a Citroën driver.
Exactly. Another interesting quirk is the door handles inside. They don't actually have a physical like handle. It's a bit of like material, and the cup holders are really small. They're very small, like almost like Red Bull can size small.
Yep.
Because I had a coffee and I tried to put it in there, and I was like, well, it's not going to fit.